everybody, Prepper003 here today with another gear review for you, and this one is going to be on the Hill People Gear Recon Kit Bag. And right now I've been using this for a couple of months now. It's been working out very well for me. I mainly use it as a running bag for whenever I go out to do my runs and exercises. I haven't used it too extensively out on hiking through the woods and everything. I've taken to a couple of trips out there with my bug out bag just to do some practice bug outs and stuff like that. But right now I just wanted to come out and kind of give you guys just a quick overview of it and give you guys my impression on the rig and what I've found out so far from using it in the multiple roles that I have. Now first off, I'm going to start with just the material that the kit is made out of, and it's made out of the 500D construction. It works very well. It's taken a lot of heavy use from what I've done. It hasn't taken too much abuse, but it's held up very well, especially when it comes to the MOLLE segments here that I've been using between the different attachments and everything else. The nice really thing about this is going to be the comfortable mesh backing here, which is a H-style harness. And what's really nice about this mesh style right here is that whenever you're wearing a pack or a camelback or an assault pack, this fits very well, nice and comfortable. There's no overlapping parts on it like you do see with a lot of other type of chest rigs, to where it might dig in at some point along your back. With this nice spread out, nice wide mesh covering back here, it sits very well. It's very nice and breathable, but yet it's heavy duty enough to where it's going to be able to carry a pretty heavy load as well. Now going back to the front, as I mentioned earlier, with the MOLLE segments, you have 8 segments going across here. As you can see, I have a pistol mag here and a tourniquet attached to 2 of those segments. Another thing that you have these tabs up here to attach your grim locks or something like that, to maybe manage some type of cable. If you want to have a radio antenna or something like that, maybe it might be to manage your camelback tubing or what have you. And they also allow you to attach them to a main pack as well, along with the bottom tabs here. One thing I like about the bottom tabs is that if you do want to run some type of compass inside of a pouch, you can use some 550 paracord, attach it to these bottom tabs here, and that makes it to have you just a little bit of extra tension, especially if you're out and it's very wet, very muddy, or in some of the cases like up here in Wisconsin where you get a lot of snow, sometimes your hands get pretty slick, and if you drop your compass inside of the snow, you might have to dig around for it, and then you can end up getting your gloves wet and all other sorts of issues. Now another thing I would like to say is that the buckles on the side here are very nice and very heavy duty. I mean, they're nice and wide, so even if you are out wearing gloves or anything like that, it's very easy to get to these buckles right here and quickly attach them, or for don and doffing, especially if you need to quickly get up and go. So one more thing I want to tell you is that this kit is available in a multitude of colors, from black, coyote brown, foliage gray, multicam, and ranger green. So you do have quite a bit of a different type of color variety to choose with this kit. The nice thing about this is you can use this to range from a whole bunch of different things, whether it be from carrying binoculars, carrying some type of first aid kit, or if you want to, as you have I have it kind of set up right here as just a pistol bag for use with jogging or running. You have that. You can use it to store a whole bunch of different types of survival stuff inside of it as well. I'm going to get to show you guys the internal, but first, before I do that, I'm going to just remove my Beretta here, which is loaded. Now, as you see on the inside, it's a pretty open and barren thing. You have a little bit of Velcro in here if you did want to attach some type of attachment. And the nice thing about this little tab on the inside here is if you have a trigger guard lock or a trigger guard holster for your pistol, you can have that tethered in here, so when you draw it, you have that extra bit of security in knowing that your trigger guard isn't being nice wide open. The nice thing that I have like about here with my Beretta is I do have an external safety, so that's just one bit of extra security about having it inside of a large open pouch like this. The next thing you have, and I still have this set up from when I was running, I just had a light and my wallet. Nothing too extensive, just for out and jogging. Get another Grimlock. But you have a nice wide open pouch right here. You have 2 divider pouches in here as well, which is really nice for being able to store, as you saw, a wallet, some type of identification, papers if you're out hiking and you need a map or something like that. If you do already have this main pouch filled, maybe with some binoculars, maybe with something like a rangefinder or what have you. And then you also do have 2 internal tabs here as well, so if you did want to carry a compass or something, or a light or something like that in here, and you just want to have that extra bit of security of having it have a little bit of retention, you do have that available on the interior as well, which I really like about this. There's a lot of security that you have with this pack. And as you see, it's a very slim pack, so you can have it very nice and compact as well. So if you did want to have it under some type of clothing, or if you did want to have it run a little bit low profile. Now there are going to be some things that I'm going to give you a little bit of a tips here for running the pack. One thing is, if you are going to carry it as a holster or use it as a holster for your firearm, like I was showing with the Beretta, try to have one of your tabs tucked on the inside. That way, whenever you go to quickly grab to open your main pouch here, you don't accidentally grab both and you end up just ripping them over to one side, and you have to struggle with that. So that's why I like to typically have it with one end of the grabs here to just be on the inside. That way, whenever I grab it, I can quickly get it open, and right there is my main pack for easy access to my pistol. The next thing about it is I like to keep the flap right here sticking outward. That way, whenever I do zip it back up, it's not getting caught right along here as well. That's just the 2 points that I'd like to give you guys. Another thing is with this, I'd like to have you guys just know that it does have these nice elastic bands, so that I like to do it, but just as a tip, try to have some little bit of control over those straps where they're not dangling, they're catching on things. And what happens is sometimes if you let them just hang loose, they can actually untighten themselves as you're running or moving, and that should cause just a little bit of a headache on you. So right now the kit has a lot of different uses as well for this bag. You can use it, as I mentioned earlier, for hiking. You can use it as a mini chest rig if you want to attach a mag pouch, a couple of pistol pouches, as you saw earlier in the intro with me using it as a impromptu chest rig. Another thing is that, as I mentioned earlier, it's a good runner's bag if you want to still have some type of means of self-defense while you're out running or jogging, which typically not a lot of running or jogging clothing is very acceptable to carrying a pistol. Then it also works really good for a lot of you preppers as a quick grab and go bag, to where you can have this set up with maybe, as I showed you, a pistol, a little bit of survival gear on the inside, and then quickly grab it and go, maybe inside of a vehicle or something like that as your get home rig. Another thing, as I said mentioned about survival, is you can have this set up as a solely designated survival rig, to where you have it pretty much stuffed only with survival necessities. Maybe a little bit of first aid in there, a little bit of fire kit, a knife, and just pretty much the bare essentials that you'll need for surviving maybe a wreck or something like that. That's what I like about this, is you can easily store it maybe inside of a glove compartment if you have a larger size glove compartment, or you can just have it stowed under a car seat or under a some type of bag that you have in the back of your trunk, or you can keep it inside of your get home bag as well. Another thing that this works really good for is a hobby rig. So maybe if you like to go out and sightsee or something like that, as I mentioned earlier, you can fit a pretty good amount of variety of different binos in here as well. So that's what I feel is really nice about this rig, is that it's just so multi-use for any given need. Another thing that I don't think a lot of people think about is a ranch chest rig. So something you might just be out on the ranch, you might need a little bit of supplies and tools and anything like that. You have a lot of compartment space in here, and you also have a lot of different type of things to attach on the outside if you wanted to as well. So you can use this pack for a variety of different things. You can use the MOLLE attachments if you want to, or you can run it slick. They do have a complete slick option as well if you want to avoid having the MOLLE on there, which I don't mind it myself, but I know some people of you do not like the Molly option. So that's pretty much it. It's just a bare essentials kit. I just wanted to get a short review and an overview of it, of what I think. I would really give this kit a 8 out of 10. The only thing that really kind of hampers it is that sometimes with the weight of the front, even if you have the straps is here really nice and tight to bring it up on your chest, it'll slowly work its way down into where this will be digging into the back of your neck. But I've only experienced that really with running, not so much with being out hiking or with wearing a pack or anything like that. Also, if you are going to wear a pack with a chest buckle or a sternum buckle, whichever one you want to call it, that's not going to interfere with the pack itself or the accessibility to quickly getting to your sidearm or your pistol. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I want to hear your guys' feedback. If you guys have had any issues with your Hill People Gear Recon Kit Bag, or if you guys have one, what do you guys think of it? So really thanks for watching. Have a great day. Prepper003 out.